You might think that a legendary YouTuber such as myself would like the most expensive speed cube on the market over a cheaper speed cube on the market that might actually be better. Like, I could go over the most expensive speed cube versus the cheapest speed cube, or I could go right in between with my main speed cube. There's like Pioneer, Flagship, and then Normal, whatever that one's called. And I have the Pioneer version, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. And CubingTube, who has the flagship version of the V3. Now, obviously, that's a super important thing to know. The V3 has 3 different versions of it. Unlike the V2, which only has 1, they really stepped it up this year and give you more choices, more variety of cubes. The reason they did this is so that you can find the one that's perfect for you. Perfect for your price, perfect for your turning style, and perfect for your customizability preferences. Wow. Oh. Sorry. When it comes down to the performance of the V3, I honestly feel like it outperforms the V2 by a long shot. And the Pioneer version, in my opinion, outperforms the flagship and the normal version. Due to its fast turning style and easy customizability, it makes for an amazing speed cube. And the reason I prefer the X-Men Tornado V3 over the GAN 13 is due to the corner cutting and lockup problems on the GAN 13. I tend to lock up while turning the GAN 13 at a super fast pace because of the corner to core magnet system. They have not perfected that yet, and I feel like the X-Men Tornado V3 kind of went perfect in that on the Pioneer version. And I have had little to no lockup problems. The corner cutting on this cube is fantastic once you have it set up. Now I'm going to explain how I have it set up really quick. I have it set up on 2 and 4, as you can see. These settings I have found has given me the best performance and the best turning feel while still being fast and controllable. This is like the sweet spot for me, especially when it's lubed. Oh my goodness. Put me down for more. Good job, Tornado. You're doing the right thing. X-Men, or is it Tornado? Shoot. Got the wrong brand. Obviously, I'm going to cover the feel of the Tornado V3. This cube is a little bit heavier than the GAN 13. I know I'm comparing this to the 13 a lot. I know it's supposed to be a V3 review, but I just feel like it helps me explain it a little bit better, so I'm going to continue to do this. The V3 has this like thick, buttery feel, and it feels big in your hands when turning it. This is because of the weight. It's a little bit heavier than the 13, and the 13 just feels super light to turn. I like this a lot, but with the lockup problems, it tends to happen way too much, and that's why the 13 comes in clutch. Now, it may be a little heavier, and it may be a little bigger when you're turning, but it still is incredibly smooth. Whether it is lubed or not, it still has this extremely smooth turning style, and it does not have that super light turning feel like the 13 does. But the corner cutting and lockups, there are no problems with that if you have it set up correct. This is why the X-Men Tornado V3 kind of carries. I'd say this is more buttery smooth and fast, as you can see. For my friends who watched me before I went to Hawaii on that one vacation, when I was maining the GAN 13, I got this cube and I thought it was amazing. It was the best cube ever. Then I set up the X-Men Tornado V3. My times, they went from around a 15-second average with the GAN 13 to a 14 to 13-second average with the V3, because I had it set up to a point where I felt like I could control it, but also turn as fast as I possibly can. And then I ended up maining it I was like, okay, I'll main it for a little bit. I'll give it a shot. And I haven't gone back.
So you clicked on this video to learn more about the Tornado V3. It's effortless yet controllable, but not to the point where it's slow. It's flexible yet stable. It's stable enough that I rarely lock up, and flexible enough for it to not feel stiff. I unboxed all 3 versions of this cube, video coming soon, and out of the box I preferred the flagship over the standard and the Pioneer. But a few weeks ago when I was shooting my RS3M Super video, I had thought I was practicing with the flagship, the one I had preferred, but it turns out it was actually the Pioneer. Because of this, the Pioneer actually grew on me. Well, maybe it didn't grow on me, I just made myself think it was the flagship, but it was actually the Pioneer. I don't know. Whichever situation, I like the Pioneer now. The reason why I didn't like the Pioneer at first is because I felt that it was too fast and a little too flexible, and the flagship was just a little more controllable and stable. The rounded corners and I think the primary plastic helps the corner cutting to be very soft and not harsh or sharp like some other cubes like the RS3M or WRM 2019. So this cube comes pre-lubed from the factory and has a buttery smooth feel. Now it isn't as smooth as the version 2, but the feel is still enjoyable. It has a bit of texture as the pieces rub against each other, unlike the Tornado V2 where it feels completely smooth. I set up this cube with the angstrom lubes, minus the lubical black, and it did improve, but if I'm honest, it didn't really feel like it needed to be lubed. So to end this section off, this cube is one of, or the best feeling 3x3s in my collection. So as I said before, I set up this cube with the angstrom setup, and I set the center distance to 3, the spring compression to 4, and I left the magnets at the moderate strength. So has the cube affected my times? Well, there isn't a drastic improvement, but I still do think it made a difference. I find that my times are pretty consistent and I get a lot of great singles. Depending on the day, the ProShop RS3M 2020 Plus performs better for me, but most of the time I find myself using the Tornado V3.
I know I'm not as fast as my friend Cubing Tube over there, but you know, another thing I wanted to cover is the sloppy turning. This is a little off topic from what I had on my script, but I really wanted to go over this. You grab the cube after not using it for like a day or two because you got busy, you forgot to bring your cube, you forgot to turn it, you forgot to practice, right? You grab the V3 and you always have those sloppy turns where you overturn or underturn and you lock up and it's just, you can't tell what's happening. Everybody has those days. Everyone has those cubes that do that the most. I have found that the Tornado V3 actually does that the least. Now with other cubes like the Super RS3M, I feel like when I'm turning them and trying to warm up with them, it takes me a lot longer to get warmed up. But the V3, on point. Chef's kiss. Super good. Took a minute to grow on me, but it did. It did. This is the V3. It has core-to-core magnets, but the edge piece magnets are adjustable, so you can adjust it to whatever you want, whatever magnet strength you want. Mine are currently set at the strongest due to my fast turning style and sloppy turning. It has kind of a UV coating on the outside, and it doesn't slip out of your hands when you're turning at the fastest speeds possible. Anyways, those are my thoughts on the Tornado V3. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment down below what your favorite hair color is, and did I say like the video already? I forgot if I said like the video, so if I haven't said that already, like the video and then subscribe if you want, you know, that would be very helpful. I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers. I know Cubing Tube's almost at 1,000 subscribers too. We're kind of in the same range. I tried to make this video more cinematic for you and make it look very nice, very professional, because gotta keep up with Cubing Tube's professional looking videos. I'm always impressed when watching her stuff. So great job to you, Cubing Tube, on this video. Anyways, thanks for recording this video with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Laters.